Oh my good God, she's filming another video. Should probably change my jumper to make it less obvious that I'm filming 2 videos at the same time. Yeah, let's do that. Make it less obvious. Whew. Wow, Jay, you're so imaginative. You just put on the same jumper in a different colour. You almost may as well have not changed your jumper and just edited it a different colour. Yeah, alright. Leave me be. Okay, who cares? Just filming a video. Anyway, this is just the intro. You're not going to see my jumper, well, maybe my cuffs, but you're not going to see my jumper for the rest of this video. Because today, I wanted to do something a little bit more interesting, and I wanted to give you evidence of what I've been doing, where I've been, you know, uni and more uni. And I wanted to show you my sketchbook for the last 6 weeks. The layout of this semester has been 2 6-week projects. So you complete an entire brief in 6 weeks. And then you have a midterm tutorial, and then you complete another entire brief in 6 weeks. And let me tell you, that is bloody hard, okay? Just believe me when I say it's probably the most stressful thing that I've ever had to do. Obviously I knew that this year would be a step up, as every academic year as you go progressing through is a step up from the last, but God almighty, this was something else. As well as this, there is another module running alongside it in the background, which also kind of every now and then just wants to tear your attention away from the fact that you have to complete a whole brief in 6 weeks. So without further ado, I will show you my sketchbook. So, before I begin showing you my actual sketchbook right now, I'm just going to plop in here a photo of my sketchbook so far and in the future. So as you can see, there are yellow, orange and red. The yellow ones are last year, first and second semester, a group workbook and a journal. And now this year I have the first semester, which is this sketchbook that I'm about to show you, the second semester which is not started, and then a potential group work project. I haven't actually managed to get hold of the journal yet. And then the same for the third year in the red colour. So without further ado, let's start. So this is my first semester sketchbook. It is the orange 1 volume 3, obviously 1 and 2 volumes are from last year, and we start when you open up the book with the brief for the project, which was a hate book brief. I won't bore you with too many of the details, but essentially the brief was to you know, make a book of 12 pages on something that you hate. So flicking through, and ripping the pages out apparently, that is the brief there. Then kind of just some initial ideas, brainstorming, this kind of thing on there. General kind of ideas for what I actually wanted to do, and then some more kind of focused brainstorm once I thought I had my idea pinned down. And then some ideas for what the actual book was going to be, regardless of the content. You know, kind of the composition, what it was going to be made of, how big it was going to be, what kind of style I was going for, that sort of thing. And then my research begins, visual research, and some sketches alongside that. So I chose the topic of hating bras, and I commenced with visual research into illustration styles for boobs, bare boobs, and that kind of thing. Here was some more kind of ideas about the format of the book. Here is some research into the history of bras. It's not very interesting, but it's important to have some context when doing this kind of thing. Again, more visual research and context. You can flip through that now, more research. Here I did some more sketches in the style of some of the illustrations that I chose, and here I'm going to have to censor are some experimental images that I've used in my work in the early stages, and again here and there. Here was some more research into some printing methods, so screen printing and holographic printing. This was my attempt at screen printing. This failed because my screen was actually quite contaminated when the emulsion was set, which meant that I had way more holes in the screen than there should have been, so the image came out very dirty. It does mean though that I don't have to censor these images because you can barely see them. And then these were holographs, so I just did a couple of those in some experimental stages, and those are the plates that I used to actually print those. And here is some more research. This is research from the Free the Nipple movement, because I wanted to address some of the larger campaigns that were involved with this kind of thing, and acknowledge that I had looked at them in my research. Here is some life drawing. I am terrible at this kind of thing, so please, I apologise for how tragic these are. Here I actually started to do some experimentation with the kind of style I wanted the illustration to look like, and even with some colour here. And here are some initial ideas. These ones are very, very basic, but I actually had started to pin down an idea that I wanted and chosen a style I wanted to work in. Again, a style I wanted to work in. This is a little book where I collected the drawings of other people's boobs. That sounds really creepy, and I'm not going to redeem myself when I say that essentially I went around asking people to draw their boobs in a book for me. Because I wanted people to draw a picture, a line drawing of their boobs, with a statement of something that they don't like about bras. And this goes on through here because I collected enough to actually do my book. And then I chose the best ones and I started putting them in the style of my illustrations that I wanted to do. I never actually doctored the image of the boobs that the people drew, because I wanted the kind of intimate, authentic feel of people actually expressing their dislikes. And this is just kind of a test print page of the same images on paper that I actually made myself. And this is a second session of life drawing, doing some more of the same stuff and then some more expressive stuff, which I was terrible at. These are also life drawings, but they're not gonna be able to see these as well. Here is some classic colour theory. We worked through this colour mixing exercise to actually lead us on to some skin tones which are here and are actually incredibly relevant for me. For a lot of people it wasn't relevant for them, it was only relevant in the form of life drawing, because obviously with life drawing skin is involved, but for me it was actually incredibly relevant to the project moving forward because of the whole boob theme. On this page I actually made my prototype book using the bookbinding skills that we learned. So if I just pull this off, so you can see that I bound it as a hardcover book with a cloth finish, and it has some really awful printouts of my initial images inside, because rather than just making a practice book, I thought I would actually try and make it somewhat of a usable prototype to actually inform my work. Now here are the ideas thumbnails, and be warned, they are very empty, and that's because this is the part of working through a project that I'm very poor at, and I often get in trouble for not brainstorming or thumbnailing enough ideas. These pages though, I did seemingly have enough ideas, but here again it's just a lot of empty boxes where I should have been having ideas. So this is the first draft of my actual drawn illustrations for the overlay page, and then I printed those out here on a thin piece of paper that I made again. Here I was experimenting with which type of overlay I wanted on my book, whether I wanted tracing paper or acetate, and I ended up going with tracing paper. If you want to know why, that's in that little paragraph there. I guess you can pause and read it if you like. And here is my first draft of all the pages complete. So with the boobs underneath and the bras over the top. The premise that I came to was the people had their boobs underneath, and whatever it was that their statement about bras that they disliked was, is I illustrated a really extreme version of that bra and put it over the top, and then as the reader you engaged with the book by looking at the image, and you turned the page and removed the bra for the person to liberate them of their problem, basically was the idea. Here was some experiments of what the cover was going to be bound like. I wanted it to be tactile and actually like a physical bra. So here I've cannibalized some bras for art. They have gone to bra heaven or bra hell, depending on your view on bras. And they actually, I kind of informed my book a lot. And here I did some kind of evaluation of the work I've done so far. Again, if you want to read through a lot of the stuff that I've actually written, you're more than welcome to pause and read through it. Here I experimented with the tint of the upper layer page, because I was realising that the image was getting lost when you put it down on top of each other, and I needed to be able to distinguish that this was an image and this was an image separate from one another. And here is the more skin tone testing, and I've printed some skin tones on a page that, again, that I handmade myself, and had some really lovely effects going on here on this side. Here is a printout of the images with the actual skin tone backgrounds. You can see it clearly here. That was a bit of a spill from an experiment I did on the other page. Here I was doing some more experiments with colour, but this time experiments of what it would be like if the actual images were in colour. I did actually use inks for this because I like doing messy things. There were many other ways to experiment with colour, but I've already decided against it, so it was just a case of actually having it in my sketchbook, and this was where the disaster happened and it leaked through onto the other side. Here's some more ink work that I did, just experimenting with inking and overlaying the images, and this is a sheet of another sheet of that handmade paper, which I intend to experiment with ink on and see what the effects of the ink on the handmade paper are, and again, more ink stuff. And then that brings us to my self-evaluation. This is where I basically evaluated the whole project and my final product. My final product was actually made and completed a finished book, which I will show you now. So this is my finished product. It is basically a bra book. This is the front, denoted by the bow, and it is fastened with a bra kind of fastener thing. with ribbon and lace and all nude colours. So let's just open it. And the thing is, when I hand this in, I am definitely not going to hand it in closed, just in case I get a mail marking it and they can't get it open, because that's the worst thing, is if they can't open my book because I fastened it with a bra. So this is essentially the cover, and yes, it is made out of a poor old cannibalised bra. So you open it up and you have one of these cover pages, the kind of thing that hides all of the binding that I did. And then we jump right in with the first page. And we'll turn. And the benefits I find of turning the page is you extract the image from itself and create two images on a double page spread, which I find is a really lovely effect. And turn again, and then we've got another image here. And turn, and then you see the images side by side. So it goes on like this. I'm just going to flick through it so that you can see all the images in their completed form. I'm actually really pleased with how this turned out, actually. I was surprised that I even managed to finish this in 6 weeks, but as I say, this has been an intense start of the new year, and to be honest, I'm disappointed in myself that I expected anything less than such an intense kind of start. So as you can see, as you flick through, the bra problems illustrated. I mean, some of them are problems I never would have thought of myself, and some of the problems are problems that I personally have also experienced. So this is the kind of thing that I wanted to be really relatable, and for people to kind of enjoy engaging with. This is one of my personal favourites, actually, the quilted bra with feathers sticking out of it that is so quilted. And that is it. That is the end of the book and the end of my binding here. And yeah, so, well, thank you. I hope you enjoyed seeing my last 6 weeks. I'm actually currently right in the middle of my next 6-week project, and although I was really on top of my time management on this project, I'm really behind with my time management for the new one, so I've got to get cracking on that. But I hope you enjoyed seeing this. I know it's a different type of video, actually, me showing you my actual work. I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, let me know if you didn't, and if you don't, I won't make a video like this again. But I really enjoyed showing you. So thank you for watching, and bye!